Hey Catalyst Church, Nate Sweeney here. I'm so happy on behalf of the elder team to announce that we have closed on our property sale acquisition. We are moving into the design and construction phase. Praise God for His faithfulness on this whole process. It is evident that He is moving us into a season of blessing as we are expanding the base. So let's talk for a minute about next steps. So what we have for our estimated timeline for the completion of the building is 28 to 30 months. So remember, right now we're staying in our current building, and again, we're rent-free for the time being until we get into our new property. It's right around 28 to 30 months. And so as we move through this, we'll give you updates at this website. But the elder team right now, currently, we're prayerfully considering the construction contract. We've talked through all of that. We've had it for a month. And so we're going to be signing that probably next week. And then what happens is we move into what we call the design phase. So this is the phase of the project where if you go out to the property, it's going to seem really quiet. Not a lot's going on. It's going to be like, okay, what are we doing? Why are we not getting updates? Well, what's happening during this process is we got our builders and our architects and our engineers and our teams here are going to be working on a site plan. We're going to be working on what does it all look like, partnering with the city, and eventually the goal is to come to a building permit. And so the city's going to offer us this building permit at some point. Once we have the building permit, then we move into the bidding phase. And so we move into the bidding phase where we take the design and we put it out there to try to get the cheapest bids, the best bids, the most bids that we feel most comfortable with, to give them the scope of work, and then we come back with our prices. Then we have a final scope of work that we're handling with the money. Then once the final bids have been in place, then we can move into the construction phase. So we're looking at early 2025, somewhere in 2025, we will be able to move into that phase. So you may ask, what can you do? And so number one, we prayer. We want to continue to bathe this project in prayer. We understand that God answers prayer. We understand that things happen in the Spirit, and prayer unifies us. It brings us together. And so we're going to ask you some specific prayer requests. Number one, wisdom as we navigate the design and the budget phase. That's so important. Number two, that we have favor with businesses and contractors. Number three, that we have divine protection for those working on the project. So when God was directing the building of the tabernacle, the temple, and even the walls of Jerusalem, He anointed kings and the people of God to bring money. He anointed people with the ability to decorate and design, and we want Him to do the same with this project. So part of the prayer is that we want God to get glory for all of this because it's His. We want to pray for unity during this time, as building projects can become points of contention in churches, and that is not what we want to see. We want to pray for this season that as we expand the base, that it would open wide the doors for us to make Christ known through evangelism, discipleship, and any other way that God allows us to. And one last thing, we want to invite you into some prayerful financial partnership. We've talked about this being a debt-free project, and we're still planning that. We have a great start on all of that, but there are certain parts of the project here and there that we're going to say, hey, this part of the project is special and unique to us. We're going to ask people to maybe prayerfully financially partner with us. The bulk of the project, the majority, will be handled from the funds that we have, but we want you to consider prayerfully praying about that, because there will be things that will come up that are outside the scope of the work. And so we're just asking you to financially partner with us, pray about that as members of Catalyst. And the last piece of all of this, and I opened with this, is to thank God, to praise God. We have heard reports from people outside of Catalyst Church, obviously inside, but outside, people from the community reaching out saying, only God can do something of this magnitude. This is a God-sized thing for a church that we love and we trust, and we couldn't be more happy for Catalyst Church. And so join us in celebration and praising God. And at the end of the day, celebrate that we get more influence in the community to know Christ and to make Him known. So God bless you guys. Thank you for partnering with us and joining us in this expansion of our base.